Hey, with Motley, it's really easy to set up a semantic layer on top of your database and create new models. Let me show you how we can do that. So here I'm in the Motley application. I've connected our demo database, which is based on the Shower Shop data. And we just connected the database. And at first connection, Motley goes through an introspection phase and has identified all the tables it's been connected to, as well as created a first pass at the semantic layer, building various models based on the table. So for example, we have 7 models built, and each of these models have a set of dimension and measures already pre-filled from the first introspection phase, which is great because you can get started on this. You can also make it, change it, adjust it, either from here, the UX, or from Claude. Let me show you, we can use Claude to create new models as we need them. So let's switch to Claude, and let's start by exploring the data, which is basically a command that helps Claude understand what the data is and what models are being available. All right, so now Claude has researched the data, has found the data source and the 7 models, also identified the various relationship and time coverage, and is actually starting to suggest analysis here. However, in these models, there is one model that is missing that will be fairly important to use for the typical use case. So why don't we try and create a model so that we can make cohort analysis easier. Let's create a new model for cohort analysis. Now what happens is Claude is connected to Motley via an MCP server with a set of tools, and one of these tools is actually model creation. So Claude is asking us a few clarifying questions just to make sure it understands what we're trying to do here. So let's do customer by file. Let's look at retention rate. Let's do monthly cohort, and we want to build a persistent model. All right, so Claude has used the available tool and created a new model. So the customer cohort model is live, and actually it ran a verification against it. So let's look at this in the application. So if we go here and we go quickly to models, we have a new model for customer cohorts. This model, 8 dimensions and 25 measures. We can review the model here. We can also edit it here, or we can also use Claude to edit it. So let's go back to Claude and let's try to do a query on the new model. All right, let's ask Claude to show the cohort sizes. And now we can see using the new model and several of the Motley tools, we can see that Claude has been able to create a cohort size by first order amounts and wrote a couple of quick observations on it. And we can find this data also in Motley. So we can find the chart visualization of this data. We can find a representation of how the query is done, as well as some key custom values such as start and end date. And this is something we're going to explore more on the next one, which is how do we create report and how do we audit report in Motley.